Welcome to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprofit.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we're taking listener questions, help set some lineups, some trade questions, all of that good stuff as we head into Week 11. As we get closer to the playoffs, so, got the playoff runs here, people trying to secure a spot or maybe make a comeback to get in. Or maybe you have it wrapped up already, Jeff. I think you have a spot wrapped up in our main league already. You already have playoffs officially set. That's to be a good feeling.
It does. It feels very good. But once again, it's all about the playoffs at this point. I need to win. I need to win.
And yeah, before we even get into that, that's just, if you're in a spot like you are and you don't maybe have every, you're like your team specifically, you're 100% set at defense, but not everybody is. That's something you start looking at matchups. Start looking at Week 14 already. Start making waiver wire picks for Week 14. Start making waiver wire picks for handcuffs and, set yourself up. If you're in the playoffs, you take advantage of that while the others can't do that yet and set yourself up big for the playoff run.
Oh, absolutely. So. And I mean, you can say that with the defense is a great kind of point to make, but even more so, I mean, I know a lot of people that their third wide receiver or, there's one position that they're not as strong at. And that's the position where I would look, okay, who would be worthwhile? Who do they have? Can I play him multiple weeks? Is this like a one game? He's playing Miami. I can throw him in there. And then I would, also get one more guy that, I can pick and choose between. Pretty much any weak point, that's where you really want to focus your attention. And how can I strengthen that specifically for the playoffs?
Well, and actually one spot I feel like gets overlooked for this and for the playoff run. So this really honestly, it's a lot of people. If you're set, you're good. But let's say you've been rolling along with like Lamar Jackson or something at quarterback, and you're not planning on changing that. I still think you go get yourself a backup quarterback. You get yourself a backup, put him on your bench that has a good Week 14 matchup. We'll have to look at those, see what those are, but in every league's going to be different who's out there. But find somebody that has a good matchup in Week 14 maybe. Put him on the end of your bench because if, let's say, one of those guys that's, the Russell Wilsons, the Lamar Jacksons, the guys who have been just, pushing you along this season, if somebody gets hurt, you're going to be all over the waivers trying to find somebody at that point. Why not just have that person already on your team? Hopefully you never have to use it. But
100%. And I really, if you're lucky enough to be in the position that I am, which is, not always, you're usually kind of fighting it out until the very end. But in this situation, I really do try to back up almost every player. Because even for me, tight end has been kind of the tough spot, kind of the nightmare. So that's the position that I'm going to be like, okay, if I have someone that I kind of trust. I traded for Waller, so just as an example, I trust him, but at the same time, I'm going to look for the playoffs, and who can I back him up just in case he does go down or something like that, because if he goes down, I know that it's going to be slim pickings, so I have a few weeks to really secure that roster spot.
And like I say, like the quarterback, I just quick glance at the Week 14 matchups, and I think a player that's he's owned in 60% of leagues, but he's still out there quite a bit, who has a great Week 14 matchup is Kirk Cousins playing against Detroit at home. That's a player where, he destroyed Detroit last time around, and they're not really getting any better right now on defense. He got 4 touchdowns, I think, in the last time he played him, 338 yards. That's a good player to have as your second quarterback in case something happened. That's a really good matchup there. So go get somebody like Kirk Cousins if he's out there for you. But just start looking at those things if you have that luxury. Others of us do not have that luxury and are just crawling around trying to figure out a way to get in the playoffs. So that's a lot of the people with start-sit questions today, Jeff. So let's get into those here. We got an email in from Brett. He says, who should I start this week at my wide receiver spot? Tyrell Williams or Terry McLaurin? So both of them have pretty good matchups. McLaurin's playing against the Jets. Tyrell Williams is playing against Cincinnati. Are you leaning any one way on this one?
You can make an argument for either one. Personally, I kind of lean towards McLaurin. I think he's a little bit better. He has seen kind of larger volumes in certain games. And you're right, the Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals are both great matchups, but Tyrell is usually just kind of the one catch and done type of guy. And if he doesn't catch the touchdown, he's nothing. So I like McLaurin here.
Yeah, I'm going the same. They're pretty close in my ranks. I think I have McLaurin only a couple spots ahead of Tyrell, but that's just, I feel much more comfortable with Terry McLaurin right now. Tyrell's been, maybe get you 3 catches, but this is a good matchup, but I'm just not as confident in him, even though I like his quarterback better than I like Dwayne Haskins, but I don't know. McLaurin's the better player for me. Another question here from Brett. So he needs to start one running back. So this is a question. Out of these 3, or these 4, I think I know the answer, but his question is Joe Mixon, Darius Geis, Jalen Samuels, and Latavius Murray. So you still have to go Mixon there. I mean, he had a good week last week. Connor's probably coming back, so it gets rid of Samuels. Kamara's out there, gets rid of Murray. Geis is we don't know what he's going to do. So Mixon's the play there. But his other question is, would you go pick up Brian Hill and play him instead? So basically it ends up coming down to Brian Hill. He go try to get a waiver wire claim and get Brian Hill. Would you play Brian Hill over Joe Mixon? Brian Hill against Carolina, Mixon against Atlanta. Matchups are, they're similar. That's an interesting one. They're going to get similar volume probably, but oh man, I don't know. In my mind, I'm starting to lean Brian Hill because it's similar volume, but a better offense. And even though Mixon had a good week last week, I mean, we've seen what it's been all year. And I don't necessarily think that's just going to all of a sudden just flip a switch. He's going to be great now. Man, I might go Brian Hill here. This is close, though. I want to do Brian Hill. I say I want to make that decision, but I feel like I'd still go Mixon. I feel safer that way.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
It really is.
I mean,
I know.
It is. For me, they're very, very close. And honestly, if he didn't have a strong showing against Baltimore last week, I probably would have went Hill. But I think Mixon does edge him out just a bit. They're giving him the ball more. The last 2 weeks that he's played, 17 carries, 30 carries, which obviously is the season high. And more so, I mean, not last week, but the 2 weeks before that against Jacksonville and the Rams, he did score a touchdown receiving the ball, which would be my point of contention and say, okay, maybe Hill has a bigger upside touchdown-wise because, Mixon hasn't been able to run the ball into the end zone at all this year, which is almost mind-boggling. But he showed me enough where I would stick with the kind of the devil that we know compared to Hill, which I'm really not completely aware of what he will be doing.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. That's just, I think, it's close though. This is only a couple spot difference for me. Very, very close, yeah. I didn't necessarily think, who would have known that last week, obviously, but Mixon's just, I don't really think it's Mixon. It's just this team's so bad. It's hard to judge a player off of, playing on a team like the Bengals right now. But all right, that's from Brett. Let's move on to the Instagram questions now. So here we go. Jonathan, this is a flex question, non-PPR, so we got standard scoring. You go Jarvis Landry, you go Allen Robinson, or do you go David Johnson or Sony Michel? Pick one of those. Landry, Allen Robinson, David Johnson, Sony Michel. So I guess you almost go position by position first. And okay, we'll take the running backs. You playing David Johnson or Sony Michel there? Sony Michel plays at Philadelphia. David Johnson plays at San Francisco. I go Sony Michel out of those two.
Yeah, I think that one is the no-brainer for me. Just the way that they've been playing, and obviously you're going against San Fran as well.
Yeah, it's both factors. The terrible play from David Johnson, and then just that's a tough matchup. What are you going to do there?
It's tough.
And so then it's Jarvis Landry or Allen Robinson. You got Allen Robinson playing at the Rams, and then Jarvis Landry playing against Pittsburgh here. So I think I'll go Allen Robinson here. Pittsburgh's defense has been good.
They have, yeah. I think Allen Robinson would be the pick for me as well, even though Landry did well last week. But I just don't like the matchup.
So then you pit Allen Robinson versus Sony Michel. Where do you want to go there?
I would go Sony Michel, I think.
Being standard scoring, I think I'm going to go with you on that one. I'll go Sony on that too. I guess PPR would have switched it up, but yeah, I'll go Sony. I mean, these are all like decent options, but nothing like Robinson and Michel. They're decent options. They're not nothing spectacular, but yeah, I'll go Sony. All right, this is a rest of year question. Who would you rather have for the rest of the season? Okay. Stephon Diggs, Marquise Brown.
Oh, man. It's a very good question. I think I stick with Diggs, though.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, they've turned it around. Diggs is going to be up and down, but Marquise Brown isn't really. He's been good. He had those, the big games early, but still Diggs is better. He's just he's a better player. I have more confidence in him to do well. So yeah, I'll go with Diggs. Next question is this is pretty easy because I think Matt Breida's injured. Doesn't look good. So Phillip Lindsay or Matt Breida, you go Phillip Lindsay with the injury concerns to Matt Breida. But then for flex spot, 2 receivers he's choosing from: Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark. Chark against Indianapolis. Tyler Boyd playing against somebody, Oakland. I'll go Chark there without even a question. Chark. It's not even, simple, right? No. All right, here from Jorge. Joe Mixon or Christian Kirk? So we got another Joe Mixon, but then you go Christian Kirk. Is that a 1 week fluke? It's at San Francisco.
I was going to say they're playing at San Fran.
It's similar to the last question here.
Yeah, okay. So we're assuming a standard scoring, right?
Yeah, let's go standard. Kirk or Mixon. I'll go Mixon here. I don't like that. I don't like playing at San Francisco.
I know.
Not with Arizona. Like Seattle could do decent with it, but this is Arizona. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it.
How good has he Yeah. Okay, yeah. I would I'm just going off of they just recently played him as well, and they held him to nothing. So I'm going to go Mixon.
All right, another Joe Mixon question. A lot of Joe Mixon today.
Joe everyone's Mixon, confused,
right? He played good 1 week. So what are you going to do? So this comes from Peter. It's Joe Mixon or Tevin Coleman.
Oh, so, Tevin Coleman for me,
especially if Breida's out.
Yeah, that one's not even close for me.
Yeah, it's in the good matchup. It's just it's easy. All right, flex question. Need to pick one of these players this is from Sean. Stephon Diggs, Mohamed Sanu, Damian Williams, or Brian Hill. It doesn't say standard or PPR. Let's just go standard again. So Diggs, Sanu, Damian Williams, Brian Hill. Damian Williams without McCoy, he's a lot more interesting to me. I would, out of the running backs, I'm picking Damian Williams over Brian Hill, and I'm picking Diggs over Sanu. That's what I'd be going with here. So,
yeah, I'm with you.
I'd be choosing Diggs or Damian here. So again, Damian Williams playing against, at the Chargers, which it's never an away game for teams that play at the Chargers, it feels like. And then Dalvin Cook, why is it Dalvin Cook? Minnesota. It is because it's basically Dalvin Cook's team.
Right.
Minnesota playing against Denver.
You know what? I would lean towards Damian.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna go Damian Williams there because it's if Damian's getting the work, he's gonna be pretty decent, I think. So Damian Williams, I think, is a pretty good play. All right, which quarterback would you start this week? So if we get a healthy Jacoby Brissett, he's one option here. So a healthy Jacoby Brissett playing against Jacksonville, or do you go with Kyler Murray at San Francisco?
Oh man, I would have to go Brissett. I mean, San Fran scares me that much.
And a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, don't get it twisted on how well Russell Wilson. I mean, he didn't even light the world on fire. He's that good where he looked, good against them. But I have a feeling Kyler is going to be running for his life. It's going to be a rough day for him.
I'm going to go Kyler though.
Really?
Yeah, I don't ask me why.
Okay,
it's more. I think it's just injury concern. Honestly, I get concerned about it. Even if Brissett comes back, I just always worry for that just aggravation early, and it scares me, especially when it's not a top end quarterback where you're just playing him anyway. So I get worried. I mean, I don't need to play him.
Okay, and that's fair too. I mean, he played them 2 weeks ago, and he did well. I just think so. I guess in your position, a lot of people that I dismissed him so much, I don't want people to think it wrong, but I just think the second time a good defense at San Fran sees a rookie QB, they're able to do a lot more against him. And I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling against that one. So maybe I'm going more with my gut on that too.
Well, and then I might just completely contradict what I just said about the injury and coming back from it. And I'd rather play Nick Foles over Brissett, though.
Okay.
But if you're in that, like, I'd rather go get, if you're not confident in Kyler, I'd go with the waiver wire and rather play Foles over Brissett. They're in the same situation, come back from injuries. I like Foles' matchup better. They're in the same game, but I like Foles I like the playing against Indy for some reason. I just like Nick Foles better. I think he's, I would have a lot of options over Brissett, honestly. I'd go on the waivers and I'd get Sam Darnold playing against Washington.
I don't know if I would go that far.
I would go that far.
Man.
I would.
Man, you hating on Brissett, huh?
I'm not hating. It's just kind of worrying.
I mean, I guess so. But I mean, besides for the Denver game in Week 8, I mean, he's had 2 off games, but he's been pretty good this year. I don't know. Jacksonville doesn't necessarily scare me a ton with their defense, and he finds a way to throw touchdowns. I mean, they are all kind of close. I guess my big one would, I think I would still like, and once again, he would have to be healthy, but I would like Brissett more than I would like Foles. But I can understand the argument between Brissett and Murray.
All right, question from Mamba. He needs a playoff tight end. So, would you trade away Keenan Allen for Hunter Henry and Juju Smith-Schuster? And
who am I trading?
You would trade Keenan Allen and get Hunter Henry and Juju.
Yeah, I would do that already.
Because Keenan and Juju are just similar right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think you're losing anything on that. I think you're, like, wide receiver wise, I think you're
no, and his other receivers are Tyler Lockett and Michael Thomas. So
yeah, I think that's a great one. And Hunter Henry is going to be more of a value add than losing Keenan Allen at this point.
Next question from Tyler. Pick 2 of these 3 running backs: Damian Williams, Kareem Hunt, Jalen Samuels. So Damian Williams is a shoo-in. So then it becomes Kareem Hunt, Jalen Samuels. And this doesn't say, again, PPR standard, So, I don't know where to go here between Kareem Hunt and Jalen Samuels.
I
think I'd go Kareem Hunt, though.
I was going to say, what is the news on James Conner?
I think it seems likely that he's going to play. It seems like he's likely to play. That seems, and the thing is with James Conner, James Conner plays, Jalen Samuels is so much less involved. I feel like.
Yeah, I was going to say, assuming that James Conner is back and they're going to use him, I would go with Hunt. First of all, I think Kareem Hunt is the better running back than either of them. You don't really know how much they're going to use him, but I think they'll probably amp him up a little bit. I would like him because I think Conner and Jalen, kind of devour themselves.
All right, I lost my spot. Here we go. All right, another running back question, and we're getting these same players in just different mixtures of questions here. So from Alex, pick a running back: Damian Williams or Tevin Coleman.
Oh, that is very, very close for me.
But yeah, so I'm trying to make sure we don't contradict ourselves, which we're not. But
no, they're incredibly close for me. I think I lean Tevin Coleman with Breed out.
I do too, very slightly. It is close.
It's very, very close.
They're both going to be like right outside of my top 10 this week. I think they'll be top 15, probably as I'm putting my ranks together. I don't know. 11 and 13, maybe somewhere like that. It's close though. It's but Damian Williams barely, or no, Tevin Coleman barely, just because, he's just been better recently, I guess I'd say. But man, it's, the funny thing is names are changing here as players we feel decent about. It happens every year in fantasy, doesn't this?
Oh yeah, especially going down the home stretch. What team is playing well? What player is on fire, who's what injuries, how does that affect their playing time, all that good stuff.
All right, quarterback question. Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson. Lamar playing against Houston playing against Baltimore. Got a good matchup there.
I go Lamar.
Me too. I think you can't sit Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson's great, but he's not Lamar Jackson in fantasy right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess a very good question is, I mean, is Lamar going to be your number one QB this week?
Yeah, I think so.
I was going to say, because he's going to be close on everyone's boards.
Mahomes are close.
And you would start Lamar Jackson over Mahomes.
Man, that's a good problem to have. It's actually it's a very possible problem though.
Yeah, with Lamar, I mean, anyone could have drafted him late.
I think oh man. You know what? I don't know. I got to think about that one. I could think I don't have to answer that question right now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because, I mean, I say Lamar his floor is just tough to beat, but when's Patrick Mahomes ever disappointed?
No, I know.
He doesn't disappoint.
No, it's very difficult to go against Mahomes.
I honestly think I might go Mahomes number one.
Yeah,
I won't both, blame
you.
It's like 1A and 1B. It's that close. Yeah. All right. That's a tough one. All right, from Blake, would you start Jarvis Landry or Terry McLaurin? Jarvis or Terry? That's I don't really know what I'd want to do there. So you got Jarvis playing against Pittsburgh again, like we said earlier, and then who was Washington playing against again? The Jets. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably.
So earlier we picked McLaurin when we pitted him against Tyrell Williams, but Jarvis.
Yeah, this one's going to bite me, but I think I would go McLaurin on this one. I mean, Landry has been kind of the consistent. He's been pretty good, but I don't trust him to score touchdowns, and I think I would rather take the upside with McLaurin. I don't know. That's the way I'm leaning right now. That is a very close one as well.
I think I'm going to go Jarvis. Why exactly? I just feel I feel safer with Jarvis over Terry McLaurin by a little bit, not by I mean, this is close for me.
I mean, Landry has been good. There's no doubt. I mean, I think I would have to honestly have more to back up my pick than you would yours. I mean, if you look at the last couple of weeks, Landry has been fine. He's been good. The last 2 weeks, he has gotten in the end zone, which is, I feel like, the abnormality. I'm just not banking on that.
I think my issue is it's Dwayne Haskins, honestly. I
would say without a doubt, but I think they still have to throw the ball. And,
it's a good matchup.
Yeah.
Man, I think I'm still going Jarvis, though. I just don't trust Haskins. Not yet. All right, next question from Connor. He needs a quarterback to pick up here with Aaron Rodgers on bye. So would you go Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill for this week? Cousins against Denver. And is Tannehill even playing? I don't think Tennessee's not playing this week, are they?
No, I don't think they are they?
No, I'm just reading this quote. I'm like, wait, they don't even play this week. So you
go. It's an easy decision.
You go Kirk Cousins. And he also asked then, is there anybody else on the waivers you might look at? But honestly, over Kirk Cousins, I highly doubt it. I don't see that happening to me. So, don't pick up Tannehill. Don't play Tannehill. That won't turn out well.
Yeah, this week, yes. No, it will not.
Will not. Okay, so here from Michael. Trade question. Would you trade away Carlos Hyde to get David Johnson? Man, you would have never thought this would become a question. Yeah. And it's a legitimate question.
And I can't believe I'm hesitating.
I mean, we don't know David Johnson's health, like what it really is. But I think I still do it. I would hope, though, you're in a situation where Carlos Hyde isn't like your 1 or 2, and who knows if he's your 1 or 2. Okay, this is where it actually becomes different. If you actually have to like rely on Carlos Hyde as like your running back 2, I think I might keep him and not take the risk with Johnson. But if Hyde's like a flex, I think I go get Johnson. You know, if that makes any sense at all. I'll take a little bit more risk if you have 2 better running backs out of Johnson. But if there's only 1 better than Johnson, I don't want to take that risk.
Yeah, I get your point. I'm trying to look at matchups as well because Arizona does not have good matchups going down the stretch. And I worry that that paired with his health is going to be an issue, kind of the remainder of the way you go. If I knew that he was going to kind of get back to his healthy self, which I think is pretty fair. I don't think there's any nagging injuries or anything like that. I would probably lean towards David Johnson still. even though he doesn't have great matchups. I just like his talent so much more. Hyde has been good, but he's been getting bulk. I don't know. I would still lean Johnson. I think I agree with you, Craig.
Yeah, it's just you hate giving up that volume that Hyde gets. But
yeah, I think he's a safer play. But with those two, like in your scenario, if you don't absolutely need him, if he's not going to be your running back too, I would make the riskier play because I think his upside is more.
All right, got a couple questions here from Elvis. The first one's a tight end question. Would you be starting Darren Waller this week or Mark Andrews? He's a little concerned with Waller because his targets have lessened a little bit lately. So it's going to be Andrews against Houston. It's going to be Waller against Cincinnati. So it's a good matchup for Waller. But I'm going to actually go Andrews yet. I like Andrews. Good big week last week. It's honestly kind of a toss-up for me. But I will lean Andrews. This might be my bias. I've had him on multiple teams this year. I have not had Waller. That might be why I'm leaning that way, because it's so close to me.
Very close for me as well. I think you could really go either way. I think for me, I go with the matchup, and I go with Waller because they are going against Cincinnati. But I don't think you can really go wrong. I think Mark Andrews has shown the possibility of going big with the touchdowns. You could go with the hot hand. I'd be okay with that. But personally, I go with the better matchup. I go Waller.
All right, and he has one more question. He says, should I take a shot at starting Kenyon Drake over David Montgomery? So Montgomery's playing at the Rams. Kenyon Drake playing at San Francisco, and so you don't do that.
No.
I was
going to say, I don't think it's a bad question if it was a different matchup.
Right. It's definitely a matchup here. Yes. All right. Final question we got today from Jay Marsh. DJ Moore or Christian Kirk? What's the play here? DJ Moore, Christian Kirk. DJ Moore at home against Atlanta. I'm going DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore because of the matchup once again.
He's been
good too.
Solid.
He's been good. Christian Kirk has been, obviously he lit the world on fire last week. I would usually probably try to ride that hot hand with the two wide receivers, but his matchup is just bad.
Yeah, and a lot of matchups are dictating a lot this week, which at this point it really should. Well, if we do these close matchups, but I mean DJ Moore, I'm looking at DJ Moore. He might even be like he might be like a top. He might be 10th for me this week in ranks. Is that a little crazy? Probably. But I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at that, and I think he might find his way all the way up there, which is nuts here. All right, let's see. I think we got a couple more questions just from YouTube here from Brianna. So here we go. She says, I have Aaron Jones and Kamara as my running back 1 and 2, so Jones is on bye. So looking for a replacement for that. So should I start Brian Hill, Kenyon Drake, Adrian Peterson, or Damian Williams? And I think we've established that we go Damian Williams there. And
yep,
that's going to be the play. Damian Williams is going to be, that's probably pretty solid there. And so for wide receiver, or for for flex. So for wide receivers, she has DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill to start, and she'd put Galladay at the flex. But if there's no Matt Stafford, would you go Galladay, or would you go one of the running backs above? So for us, that's probably Brian Hill. Would you go Galladay or Brian Hill?
That's a really excellent question. I think I would still lean towards Galladay because of what he was able to do last week, even with Driscoll playing. He caught a touchdown. I think that's 3 games in a row. I'd have to look that up real quick, but he did enough where I would stick with Galladay. But I would go Galladay. It's a very good question though with Stafford out.
Yeah, I'll do the same. I'd go Galladay there. But all right, that is going to do it for our mailbag for this week. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. We're going to look back a little bit at what we predicted in the preseason and how that's turned out for us. See if we know what we're talking about at all, and then maybe do a little see how those are going to play out for the rest of the year. Maybe again help your playoffs a little bit. Do the best we can on that. But that'll be it for today. Talk to you guys tomorrow.